Dave or JT, you can let me know when we have all the board members then.
I'm
Yep,
still
I'm counting them right now.
Okay.
I'm missing Mrs. Price, Mr. Guth, Mr. Whitman.
Mrs. Price is down there under M. Price.
Mr. Whitman's on there as William Whitman at the very bottom.
Very bottom, William
Thank you.
Whitman. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was looking for Bill.
And the only all I have right now, I believe, is Mr. Goose.
Was Attorney Freund joining us tonight?
Jonathan Huerta. Did you hear that, JT?
I'm sorry?
Jonathan Huerta is counsel this evening.
I see him.
Got it.
Yep. And then whatever administrators you'll need to be presenting this evening.
Yes, I've been going through and trying to get some of those, and they keep remuting themselves.
I think we're good for the board, George.
Okay, all right, if we got all this meeting to order, and we'd like to thank the public for indulging us in starting a few minutes late this evening. With the meeting called to order, I ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Pimperati, you want to lead us, please?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Ramirez, you have the roll noted, please.
Excuse me, Mr. Booth.
Mr. Booth, he is not as this time. Whether or not he signs on, I'm sure he'll let us know. Okay. All right. As we call the meeting to order and we have the roll noted, we will move into the superintendent's report. Mr. Pimperati.
Thank you, Mr. Shando. We have a presentation this evening from one of our Eagle Scouts, a student, Christopher Taverner. I hope I pronounced his name right. I'm looking to see if Dr. Burrs was able to unmute him. I did see Christopher on the list. I also saw his father, JT, so you're looking for Christopher, Taverner.
I sent Christopher an invite to unmute, and I just sent Bill his father.
Okay, so Christopher, if you're there, you can unmute yourself and you can start your presentation.
Okay, there we go. All right, do you guys have a copy of what I sent over to Ms. Ramirez? Otherwise, I have a physical copy.
Yes. No, it was forwarded to us.
Okay. Well, in case my Eagle Scout project is constructing 6 10-foot benches and 1 podium for Shawnee Elementary School. It's sort of as part of a outdoor learning type environment, especially with coronavirus and everything going on. It's great to have as many separate environments as possible. So I see this as something to help with that. I'm looking for approval from the school board to carry forward with you guys as my project beneficiary. If I can screen share, I do have the blueprint for it if you guys would like to take a look at that.
Are you able to share the screen Christopher's screen with us?
Okay, now I do. There we go. So I've got these sketches that I've drawn up. The benches will be 10 feet long, 1.5 feet deep, and 16 inches tall. There'll be a little compartment underneath the, well, 2 compartments, one on each half of the bench, with a little space for like kids to put their books if they need to. It'll be, I don't have to go through every single design choice for this, but I figure it's the kind of thing that you guys should see. Here's the podium, just like standard type stuff like that. I'll be working with Mr. Ackerman, a woodworker, a friend, father of my friend, to put all this together. I've been in contact with Ms. Galloway, Mr. Ellison, folks at the elementary school. This is all part of like a big kind of project to create that learning environment. All right. I'm trying to turn off my screen sharing right now.
Good job.
There we go. Okay. I've also got one of the other things I sent over besides the project proposal, which has the plan outline and fundraising information. I also sent over a Google Sheet that outlines the costs and fundraising that I'll be going through to pay for this project. So I figured that was good to just have a detailed look at that. But otherwise, I'm just looking to get a signature from representative of you guys as the project beneficiary on pages 10 and 17 of my Eagle Scout project proposal.
That's great, Christopher. Thank you for everything you sent over. Very detailed plan. We appreciate that. To the board members, you will be asked to approve the plan this evening later in the agenda. So if you have any questions, now's the time to ask her.
Christopher, certainly thank you for your presentation. Thank you for the initiative you're taking to be able to provide this to the students at Shawnee. And obviously, not only will the students benefit from it, but the community that will benefit from it also. A quick question. When do you anticipate commencement? How long do you think it'll take from start to finish?
I'm looking to start gathering materials and actually begin building the benches, later this month into August. A lot of the fundraising, I'm predicting I'm going to have to do later, like in late August, September, since it's difficult to do fundraisers for local businesses with, all the quarantine measures and everything. But otherwise, I'm looking to have this project fully wrapped up by October.
Oh, very good, very good. It's a quick timeline. First of all, thank you once again. Second, congratulations as you move forth with earning your Eagle Scout. And as I said, as a board, we will certainly be appreciative, and I'm sure the district will also, for what you're doing for the campus at Shawnee. So thank you, Christopher.
Yes, thank you. Christopher, what troop are you in? I'm with Troop 29.
29, so you mean at Arts Church, correct?
Yep.
Okay. My sons are in Troop 25, so next township over. In fact, the troop meeting is being held in my backyard to my left right now. So my sons are both Star Scouts, so they're working towards their life. So hopefully in a couple of years they'll be in your situation where they're looking at designing an Eagle project as well. So I wish you luck on the project, and it sounds like a really wonderful idea. So thank you.
Yes, Christopher, I'd like to commend you. It takes a lot of hard work to get to where you are now. I have 2 boys in Boy Scouts, and I wish they went through to the end, but unfortunately they didn't. But I know the commitment that you and your parents have to make for this, and I can commend you.
Thank you. It's a journey.
Yes, it is.
Any other questions from the board? Christopher, say your last name for me so I don't continue to butcher it.
Oh, Taverner.
Taverner. Very good. Well, Christopher, thank you again for your presentation this evening. And if you want to stay tuned to see whether or not the board approves it, feel free. And we appreciate, as has been said a number of times tonight, we appreciate your dedication to the Easton Area School District and your commitment to our elementary students who, for many years down the road, will enjoy being outside while learning. So thank you for that, Christopher.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Shando, that concludes my report this evening.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cabrera. We'll move to our other board reports. We'll start with Colonial Intermediate Unit 20, Mr. Snyder.
Yes, I don't have a formal report, but we are meeting in July. We usually don't meet in July, but because of the coronavirus and back to school plans, we will be meeting next week. And hopefully by then the IU will have a good framework for their back to school plan. So there's nothing been formally presented yet, but that's going to be coming, I'm thinking, next week. Other than that, there's nothing else to report.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Career Institute of Technology would be either Mrs. Hess or Ms. Price.
So really a lot of the discussion was on the back to school plan, and figuring out how they're going to do that and coordinating among the sending districts and, making sure that everybody's on board. We did also hire for the position that was vacated by Mr. Keller. So those are basically the update.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Hess. We'll move to Northampton Community College. I don't believe we received anything from Mrs. Ramirez.
No.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to the Foundation for Eastern Schools, Ms. Siaga.
And I do not have a report this evening, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to the Charles Schrin Science and Technology Initiative, Mrs. Hess.
No report tonight.
Okay. The only other thing I will ask is, if there are any other associations that are, and would like to make a report. I know Mr. Deal of the EAEA is always cited first, but if he's there, and any other association reps. Hearing none, we'll move to public to be heard on agenda items. If there's anyone in the public that would like to address the board on an agenda item that's been posted, please hit the chat icon, state your name, and you'll be recognized, and you'll have 5 minutes.
Mr. Chando, I have one, a Dr. Stump.
Okay?
Thank you. I am speaking tonight, and I'm assuming when I looked at your agenda that on the agenda is the presentation that you proposed from this past week. Is that correct? Letter F8, is that on there?
The flexible construction.
Is that considered?
No, that's a different item. That is, flexible instruction days are, we're looking to get PD approval for, up to 5 days if we have snow and kids can still learn at home. It's not the same as what we were talking about for the fall.
Okay. Then I'm gonna wait, because my end would be, as long as that's not on the agenda right now, then I'm gonna wait until the end.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you. Mr. Carter, thank you for that clarification.
Yep.
Dr. Burris, do you see anybody else?
Mr. Chando, no one else has put anything in the chat.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to section 5, which is the session report. And for the public record, the Board of Education held a session on June 30th, 2020. We'll move to section 6, approval of minutes. And I'll remind the board that whoever motions and seconds, please just state your name, Mr. Ramirez, and we'll move to roll calls then. So I'll look for a motion to approve the meeting minutes of the special meeting held on May 18, 2020, as presented.
Motion added.
Second, Susan.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Margaret,
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy,
Yes.
Ms. Price.
Yes.
Mrs. Hess.
Yes.
Ms. Ayala. Ms. Ayala. Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Whitman.
Yes.
Mr. Chandler.
Yes. Motion carries. We'll move to section 7, personnel. And 7A, motion to approve the service agreement for professional development as presented.
Susan, so moved.
Michelle, second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Dr. Kennedy.
Yes.
Ms. Price. Mrs. Hess.
Yes.
Ms. Ayala.
Yes.
Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Whitman. Mr. Whitman.
Yes.
Ms. Barbara. Mr. Chandler.
Yes, the motion carries. We'll move 7B through 7F. 7B, motion to approve 2020-2021 TME instructors. 7C, motion with regrets to accept the retirements for staff members. 7D, motion to accept the resignation of the following individual. 7E, motion to accept the one leave of absence presented. And 7F, motion to approve the administrative transfer of 2 staff members, all as presented.
Motion, Jody.
Second, Ryan.
Smith.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded.
Meg.
Roll call on 7B through 7F, please.
Ms. Price.
Yes.
Mrs. Hess.
Yes.
Ms. Ayala.
Yes.
Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
Mr. Whitman.
Yes.
Mrs. Margaret.
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy.
Yes.
Mr. Chandler.
Yes. Those motions carried. We'll move 7G through 7J. 7G, motion to elect 2 professional contracted employees. 7H, motion to elect 6 TPE individuals. 7I, a motion to elect 2 support staff employees. And 7J, a motion to elect 1 coaching position, all as presented.
Motion, Brian.
Second, Susan.
Okay, those items have been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Hess.
Yes.
Ms. Ayala.
Yes.
Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
Mr. Whitman. Mrs. Margaret.
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy.
Yes.
Ms. Price. Mr. Chandler.
Yes. Those motions carried. We'll move to section 8, academics. We'll move 8A, motion to approve the class of 2020 graduation list as presented.
Motion, Brian.
Second, Michelle.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Ms. Ayala.
Yes.
Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
Mr. Whitman. Mrs. Margaret.
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy.
Yes.
Ms. Price. Mrs. Hess.
Yes.
Mr. Chandler.
Yes. Carries. We'll move 8B and 8C. 8B, a motion to approve the step-by-step learning contract. And 8C, A motion to approve the Eastern Area High School Marching Band's phased plan as presented.
Moved by Meg.
Michelle.
Okay, they have been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Mr. Snyder.
No on B, yay on C.
Mr. Whitman.
Yes.
Mrs. Harper.
Yes.
Dr. Keegan.
No on B, yes on C.
Ms. Price. Yes, on both. Mrs. Hess.
No on B, yes on C.
Ms. Ayago.
Yes to both.
Mr. Chandler.
Yes to both. I believe that motion's carried, Mrs. Ramirez.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to double check my notes here also. We'll move 8D. Motion to approve the agreement with Eastern University as presented.
Motion Jody.
Second, Susan.
Okay. Been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitman. Mrs. Harper.
Yes.
Dr. Keegan.
Yes.
Ms. Price. Mrs. Hess.
Yes.
Ms. Ayago.
Yes.
Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
Mr. Chandler.
Yes. Motion carries. We'll move 8E. Motion to approve the annual agreement with the Colonial Intermediate Unit 20 as presented.
Motion Brian.
Michelle.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Harper.
Yes.
Dr. Keegan.
Yes.
Ms. Price. Mrs. Hess.
No.
Ms. Ayago.
Yes.
Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
Mr. Whitman.
Yes.
Mr. Chandler.
Yes. Motion carries. We'll move 8F. Motion to approve the following 2020-2021 application to apply for the flexible instruction days as recommended by the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction as presented.
Motion Ed.
Second, Meg.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Dr. Keegan.
Yes.
Ms. Price. Mrs. Hess.
Yes.
Ms. Ayago.
Yes.
Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
Mr. Whitman.
Yes.
Mrs. Harper.
Yes.
Mr. Chandler.
Yes. Motion carries. We'll move to section 9, athletics. Motion to approve the Eastern Area School District's revised athletics health and safety plan as required by the PBE and the PIAA as presented.
Susan.
Second Brian.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Ms. Price. Mrs. Hess.
Yes.
Ms. Ayago.
Yes.
Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
Mr. Whitman.
Yes.
Mrs. Harper.
Yes.
Dr. Keegan.
Yes.
Mr. Chandler.
Yes. Motion carried. We'll move to section 10, which is budget and finance. And we'll move a motion to approve the payment of bills for the general fund, special activities, capital projects, and food services accounts as presented.
Move Susan.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Hess. Mrs. Hess.
Cal, we need vote.
Ms. Ayago.
Yes.
Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
Mr. Whitman.
Yes.
Mrs. Harper.
Yes.
Dr. Keegan.
Yes.
Ms. Price. Mrs. Hess?
Mr. Chandler?
Yes. Motion carries. Move to section 11, buildings and grounds. And 11A, motion to approve the attached change order for environmental abatement at Chestnut Elementary School as presented.
Michelle?
Second, Meg.
It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Ms. Ayago?
Yes.
Mr.
Mr.
Snyder?
Snyder?
Yes.
Mr.
Mr.
Whitman?
Whitman?
Mrs.
Mrs.
Hartman?
Yes.
Dr. Keegan?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Mrs. Hess? Mrs. Hess? Mr.
Mr.
Chandler?
Chandler?
Yes. Motion carried. 11B, motion to approve the Stonehouse Group as the lead consultant on the Palmer Elementary School project as presented.
So moved, Susan.
Second, Ed.
It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr.
Mr.
Whitman?
Whitman?
Mrs. Hartman?
Yes.
Dr. Keegan?
Yes.
Ms. Price? Mrs. Hess?
Yes.
Ms. Ayago?
Yes.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes. Motion carried. We move to section 12, other business. And we have 12A, I believe. And 12A, the motion to approve the Eagle Scout project proposal by Chris Tavener as presented.
So moved, Susan.
Second, Michelle.
It has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitman? Mrs. Hartman?
Yes.
Dr. Keegan?
Yes.
Ms. Price? Yes. Mrs. Hess? Ms. Ayago?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes. Motion carries. Congratulations, Chris. 12B, motion to appoint the listed delegate to participate in the BSBA Delegate Assembly on Saturday, November 7th, 2020, as presented. At this time, the only individual board member we had that showed an opportunity to be able to participate would be Dr. Keegan. Am I correct, Mrs. Ramirez?
Yes.
Okay, so, I mean, at this point, even though we have up to 3, I believe it is, at this point, we are putting forth, at this time, Dr. Keegan. So we will move that as presented.
Motion, Susan.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Hartman?
Yes.
Dr. Keegan?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Mrs. Hess?
Yes.
Ms. Ayago?
Yes.
Mr.
Mr.
Snyder?
Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Whitman?
Yes.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Keegan, for taking on that responsibility. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
We'll move to section 13, public to be heard on non-agenda items. Does anyone in the public would like to address the board on non-agenda items? Please hit the chat icon, state your name. You'll be recognized by Dr. Burris, and you'll have 5 minutes.
Dr. Stump has been sent a request to unmute.
And I'm unmuted, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time tonight. I am a parent of the district. My daughter goes to the high school, and I'm also a teacher of the district. And I was listening in on one day last week when you presented your plan for the phased-in reentry of our students. And as a teacher, I have a lot of issues with the phased-in program, primarily because I have my mother living with me now, and she's in very poor health. And as a teacher, I am going to be exposed as an elementary teacher, and a special ed elementary teacher, no less, to a great amount of children. And I'm very concerned about contracting any kind of virus, whether it be COVID or a cold, and bringing it home, because that will be near fatal for my mother. And I certainly don't want to be the responsible party for what took my mother down because of her illness. But I am the only child, and I am the only resort in which we have to care for my mother. My husband has quit his job so that he can be here to take care of her so that I can work. So as a teacher, I do have a great amount of concerns. However, I'm hoping our union can work all of those issues out prior to our start. But why I'm asking to speak tonight is, as a parent, with my daughter beginning 10th grade and looking at the schedule is showing that she would be attending face-to-face time 2 days a week, and the other 3 days would be virtual. Whereas in the elementary level, we have them every day. And I guess my question is that, and my concern is that my daughter, for example, is going to be going into honors algebra 2. And I am by far not at all equipped to handle what those lessons entail. And we are looking at your cyber academy, and I'm going to be registering her for that. But I don't feel like I should have to do that. I guess my feeling is, why is it felt that 2 days a week of person-to-person instruction is acceptable for a high school or secondary student in general versus the 5 days of instruction that we're providing for the elementary kids? Whether we're teaching an elementary child 2 + 2 is 4 using manipulatives or a number line versus teaching a 10th grader how to do the same kind of, some sort of an extravagant math problem, they still need that person-to-person contact. And I guess I feel like I understand, being a special ed teacher, I understand fully that fair is not always equal, and equal is not always fair. And I appreciate that, because I look at the students that are, come to me for their instruction, and sometimes we have to do things that are not always the most popular choice with other teachers, but we want to try to level the playing field. But now I look at my daughter, and I think to myself, she's going to get 2 days of in-person instruction. Yes, she may get 3 days of online instruction, but if it has anything in models, anything like it did last year, that was poor. Their version of it was that she could email them and they would get back to her within a specified amount of time, but never once did they offer a Zoom lesson or provide video lessons that she could actually, conquer the concept and be able to manipulate the concept as well as she should be. But yet, we feel this year it's okay that she only gets 2 days. Whereas our elementary students, and while yes, we're building the foundation for them, and it was so necessary for them to have that face-to-face instruction, they're being kind of given more of an opportunity to obtain their concepts versus the secondary students who do not. So I understand that it's a fine balancing act, and a balancing act that I do not wish to ever undertake, and I applaud all of you for putting your time and attention to trying to get us all back to school safely, in person, as often and as frequently as we can. And I don't envy your job whatsoever, and that's why I don't want it. But I also do think about my daughter, and I have to think about what is in her best interest. And because of that, that's why I felt necessary to speak tonight as a parent to, express my concern that if we find that it's necessary that elementary goes 5 days a week, then we should somehow be able to find it necessary that our secondary students get more than 2 days of in-person, even if, and I know I'm almost out, even if that means that those high school teachers are actually doing real lessons online. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stump. I very much appreciate your comments this evening.
Mr. Chan, there is, it's a GBX. They have been sent a request to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, now we can't hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, Eric Sotomayor, I'm a parent in the district of 2 kids in the elementary school. And I just have one quick question, maybe you can answer it for me or not. I'm just wondering, because my girl's in her elementary school, and I know you're sending all the elementary school kids back to school, because I guess you guys said it's safe, they won't wear face masks and stuff. So I'm just wondering why you still do school board meetings with Zoom, why can't we just have them in person as long as we have a face mask on? That's just my question. I'm just trying to figure out an answer to that.
Shoshana, I don't know if you want to answer the question about the school board, but at this time, we're not answering any of the parents' questions regarding going back to school because we do have a Google form and links available to parents so that we can keep a running track of all the different questions. So to specifically to what we're going to do in terms of bringing students back in August, that decision hasn't been made. So we're, again, I'm thankful for Dr. Stump's comments and your comments as well, because we are considering all of this when it comes time to open up school.
I know my wife has submitted questions, but we haven't gotten any response.
Okay, I was just on the form today, and actually the vast majority of them have been answered. So she should be getting a response to her personal email.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Chando, there are no further questions at this time.
Great, thank you, Dr. Burris. That, I'll ask if there's any other business from board members. Of course, I have a couple of quick comments. Certainly. I want to take a minute to say farewell and good luck to the recent retirees. Pat Huff, Patrick Williams, Ron Pacioli, Michael Queen. It's 109 years experience between those four, all living legends in Easton School District. So enjoy your retirement. Some great individuals there. I also want to give a special thanks and farewell to Mr. Randy Buck, whose resignation we accepted at the last meeting. Randy will be remembered as a former principal at Easton Academy, more recently as the deputy principal at Easton Middle School. Thank you, Randy. Good luck in the future.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, with that, just before I ask for adjournment, we want to thank the public for tuning in this evening to our meeting. Thanks to the administrators who have tuned in and or are live at the Ed Center, and for all of your efforts and for your commitment to working through this very, very unique situation. We're approaching the end of July, and I know the administration will tell you there's still a lot of work to be done, and I can attest that they are certainly trying to work through everything to make sure that we have everything ready to go, even in the changing times as they are coming down from PDE. With that, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Ed.
Second, Susan.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. I'll ask if there is any board member that will vote no on the adjournment motion. I'm not hearing any, so the motion is approved unanimously. The meeting is adjourned, and once again, thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For adjournment.